Howdy, howdy. Welcome back to my channel and my video series, Building Out My Expedition Camper. This is now video number 60, and so we're moving forward on building up some more cabinets, which is great. And also we're going to do a little bit of a stress test on the glue that holds these cabinets directly to the wall. And this is all framed out with 80/20. So here we go. All right, so let me tell you a little bit about what's going on here with the cabinet framing, okay? So right here I've got my lower kitchen cabinet already installed. You can see the water tank's installed, the lower small freshwater tank. There's the main freshwater tank. And this is the lower cabinet. This is the toe kick. This is just a spare piece right here, just sitting here for now. These are pieces about ready to go in here. And so the way it's going to go in, they're going to go across the top here, so to carry the full weight of the counter. There's going to be a header piece they're going to tie into, and then vertical pieces that are going to go straight down to the top of the toe kick. And then that'll create the structure that the fridge and the drawers and everything else will tie into with drawer slides and stuff that'll handle that. This piece right here is completely glued in. So I am pulling this right now, and I'm rocking the whole camper. I don't know if you can see that. That's me pulling on that piece, and you can see that I am rocking the whole camper there. This is not budging at all. It is solid in this place. Went ahead and cleaned up the wall and the extrusion, because these extrusions do come with a bit of like an oily residue on them, or they can. So clean that up with alcohol on the backside as well as the wall. These vertical pieces here are not glued into the wall intentionally, because they do need a slide for a little bit of adjustment to accommodate the width of the appliances and so forth. And once those get set, then that'll lock those in, and then the drawers will be whatever the remainder of that is, which is, you know, plus or minus, it could move plus or minus, say, 1/4 of an inch, you know, to the drawer width once those appliances get installed, because they are tying into the vertical members of this framing here. So, and then the countertop will be at this height right here, which might seem a little high at the moment, and it is, because there's going to be a little bit of a floor grading. I've got electric radiant heated floors that are going in the camper, and there's a little bit of an offset that the floor will actually, the finished floor will sit up on with a little bit of slats in there, and that's to allow like some dirt and stuff to just accumulate down in there. Instead of having to clean out every day, it can be essentially depositing those little bit of the gaps in the wood flooring, and then also the heat can also radiate through that as well. So that gives a little bit of gap there with the radiant floor and the finished floor to allow that heat to be able to really transfer well and air to pass through that space. And so once I add a little bit of space there, vertical height, then the countertop will be at a more normal height. It'll be a little bit taller than normal, but it'll be at a more normal height. And so there you go. So that's how it's going to be. And then the countertop will be this height, and that'll be the same for both sides. And there'll be actually a full height cabinet going all the way up to the ceiling here, and that'll tie in up the ceiling, and then overhead cabinets going across here, and those will actually tie into the bed cabinets in the back, which I am getting ready to build those after I get this. You see, I got everything all queued up here with my different parts as far as connectors and bolts and nuts and everything else, my plans and drawings and everything more or less kind of laid out, and I'll start building those up and then gluing those in once I get those built up. Just test fit them once they're built up before I glue them in. And so once I get this built up, then I can have a buddy come over and help me lift the refrigerator in here, the drawer refrigerator, and also the wine fridge, and get those installed. That'll be fantastic to get those out of the garage and those installed. That'll be a big step / milestone. And when all this bed cabinetry is installed, that'll be another really big milestone to not only have that done, or at least all the framing done, but then also allows me to go and build out the mounts and the slides for the bed itself. It's going to slide out and slide up into its daybed platform, as well as the dinette table and the 2 drawers alongside it that'll be underneath the bed as well. So there'll be a lot of stuff also out of the garage, because I got all those slides and the tracks and the cartridges for those and all these other things. So getting all that stuff out of here, out of the garage and into here, is a really big step. Then it allows me to move forward and get the benches built, and of course up in front here, the bathroom cabinets as well. And as that's happening, I can get all these batteries installed. You can see you got stacks of them here, literally just kind of out of the way after I pulled them in. I didn't want to keep lugging around these 68-pound batteries in and out of the camper after I did my battery Tetris to fit them into place. So I'm storing them up in the front here, and then once that bed cabinet's in, I can go ahead and start getting those mounted in the floor of the dinette here. And this is how it's done. Literally cleaning everything up, making sure that the surfaces of both the extruded aluminum as well as the fiberglass panels are all cleaned up, ready to go. And then by having these extruded aluminum pieces cut exactly to the same length and offset back from the wall, that same position, having that already piece against the wall already glued in, now the pieces coming out from there are all glued up against each other. So they're exactly spaced perfectly. And then after I get the glue down, it's nice and smeared down. I get some weight on there. And of course, therefore, let it dry and get nice and secure. Hey, building out the bed cabinets. The cabinets will be around the sides of the bed and also the rear of the bed, which I haven't gotten to yet, but I'm getting these ones around the sides built in, and also my framing installed at the same time as well for my bed platform. The framing that'll hold my bed platform and create the slides to allow it to move around. And so that's the initial one here. Same thing also on the other side as well. I'm starting with the sides here and working my way back because the sides set where this first mounting point goes, and then the two middle ones will actually be essentially centered for the width of the dining table, equidistance between these two sides. So by setting the sides, I've got those locked in. All these pieces of the 1-inch extruded aluminum framing have all been pre-cut to my exact dimensions per my design. So I went ahead, once I got the bed platform and wall installed here, I took very accurate measurements of where everything was, including also the windows and so forth, and then had all these, created my final design, had all these cut up to my exact dimensions. I do it this way because it provides a lot of benefits. It saves me all the time in cutting these up, and particularly like you can see here, this is all one size right here, and there's lots of those stacks of all a single size. So I know they're all exactly the same. They're nice and clean, so I don't have that debris or burring that my blade might create compared to their blade that they use. They go ahead and deburr it or put some wire brush on it. I found a couple remnants of wire brush inside one of these holes here that was tapped. So I know they go and they wire brush them out, and they're generally extremely clean in that way, very clean cuts. And when I make cut, sometimes I have to file a edge or something. So it's really great that they're all exactly the same. I know everything's going to fit together perfectly. It's just like putting together a Lego set or something like that. So that's really fabulous. Start from my cocked position here. I'm actually standing over one of my 6 batteries, and I got my water tank here, my bench here, and I've got my step stool to get up onto the bed platform here until my bench gets all built in and everything else. So a lot of things to deal with. So that's one little tip that really speeds things up. Now I've got some weight on these here. Now they've got these glued in. I made sure, of course, their positions are all right. Everything's lined up. It looks good. I'm really happy about that. I'll show you another tip too. Because I only used roughly that much of the caulk tube, let's just call it about half of it. Here's a little tip for you. Caulk tube condoms. I know, it's a funny term. They may have a different term than that on their box. I think they do. But basically any kind of adhesive or sealant tube of that, you can get these little, I'll call them condoms, essentially what they are. And they literally just can roll right over. Of course, I'm having a hard time with it today, but they just literally roll over like that, and that helps to seal up your tube in between your sessions, because right now I'm going to let this dry before I go and start building out from here inward to the next section. So I'm going to save this tube at the ready for the next ones. And I've got my little kit here with my everything all set up, including my gloves and so forth. So that's all ready to go. Nice clean hands because of the gloves. I have one towel, just has a tiny little bit of adhesive sealant on it. So that's all good. I've made this mention before. Keep extra towels and stuff handy when you're doing adhesive sealant just to make sure everything's good. But anyways, that's with that. And another thing happened today too. Let's get to that. But I'm going to save that for the next video. Just keep this video a little bit on the shorter side. Next video, we will be installing appliances after these kitchen cabinets get more built up. So it's going to be really good and exciting. Looking forward to sharing that with you. Thank you for subscribing and sharing.